Reaching out, touching me, touching me.
I'm touching me.
Touching me.
Also, that's the wrong song for this episode. It's A Tale as Old as Time.
I was thinking it's
But only if you know. It's a Beauty and the Beast take. Right, Jordy?
Wait, it's
But
what?
only if you're aware that this is a take on Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, sorry, what?
What?
Let's go.
All right. And welcome back to Anime Shmanime, where we're going to be singing Disney songs for the rest of the episode.
I honestly wish we were.
Yeah, but that's also because you're a fucking Disney guy. Like, okay, everybody, I need y'all to know how insanely committed Senpai is to Disney. Like, he knows every single fucking Disney song.
Yep.
App that has been ever written. And the first time I learned that, I was mind blown.
I saw Tangled on opening night.
Tangled has some bangers, bro. I have an 8-year-old daughter, so I may not be as committed as you, but I
Mandy
get it.
Moore?
Yeah,
Mandy Moore?
she destroys it, dude.
Kills it,
Yeah.
dude.
But unreal how much
it's true.
knowledge you have on Disney sing-along songs.
Exposed. And guess
Exposed.
what? And guess what? They were going to come up in more ways than one today.
Yes,
Interesting.
absolutely. Because we are doing Belle, pretty much a reimagination of Beauty and the Beast. This is Beauty and the Beast meets
The
Summer
new
Wars.
Jumanji reboot with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
They go in the video game.
Video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
hold on, wait. That's so when your only reference for people getting sucked into a video game
It's
fucking Jumanji.
is the live action Jumanji.
The new one.
That's where your brain goes when you think of people getting sucked into a video game.
Yeah.
dude, have we...
And Jack Black's in it.
He's such a baby.
No, we've done an isekai, man.
Not a video game one.
We haven't done a video game one? Oh, no, I
No.
guess we haven't. Holy fuck.
What's your one?
I guess we haven't.
What's your one?
Sword Art Online.
Yes,
Immediately.
I don't
SAO. I mean, I can name a fucking million.
But in
There
the
are so many.
Jumanji reboot,
yeah.
There's so many.
Like The Rock is good in. It's a good movie.
You, man.
It holds up to the original in the franchise.
Not even close.
you know what? You're right.
You think so?
It does.
You think so?
It's a fun watch.
It was a fun watch.
this is-
It's better
this
than
is
it should have been.
I agree.
This is Beauty and the Beast meets fucking Summer Wars.
Also meets an old classic, Barbie and the Rockers Out of This World.
What?
Did you ever watch that?
No.
I think
Yeah,
maybe
that
this
you're-
was like an Eva favorite, like your daughter.
you-
No, this was when I was a kid from my sister.
You
But Barbie
are-
is in a band called Barbie and the
Okay.
Rockers, and they go into outer space and play a concert from a space station for world peace. And it works.
Yeah, this sounds like a 90s thing.
And
Absolutely.
you thought you could just bring this up to us on the podcast.
I'm not thought I did.
No, you thought you could, and
There's
that we would just be like,
Absolutely
okay, cool.
no frame of reference
Well,
there for me,
I mean,
man.
I explained it.
Yeah, I wish you didn't.
Why? I still say we flip the script and I make you guys watch some weird shit, and that's gonna be one of them one day.
Yeah, no, we still before we do that, we
We
still
have to make
do,
our own anime.
Yeah.
No, we have to do Manga Schmanga and do Dick Fight Island.
Okay. Dick Fight Island, and then Barbie and the Rockers Out of This World back to back.
I've read more Dick Fight Island than either of you guys, so get on my
that's
level.
true.
Yeah. I've watched more Barbie and the Rockers than either of you guys.
Fuck,
so
you have, and he's right.
Get on my level, guys.
He got us. Anyways,
Anyway,
Belle.
Belle.
Mamoru Hosoda, our old pal.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I actually really enjoyed this one. And I can see the fucking face on Jordan.
Shocker.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
That you
how did
liked
you
it.
not enjoy this one? But did you enjoy this one, Jay?
Generally, yes.
Okay.
But I will say 99% of that is derived from the visuals.
Yeah,
I
the
found
visuals
it-
were great.
The other 1% goes to the music.
I found
Yes.
it painfully derivative and overall just kind
Yeah.
of boring.
Okay, but
Oh,
admit,
come
hold on.
on.
Admit to the nice people
Yes.
Yeah.
At what point in the movie
Yeah.
did you realize
Yeah.
that it was a take on Beauty and the Beast?
Much later than I should have. Like maybe halfway through.
Oh, come
You told me 3/4 earlier.
It was when she was in the castle with him. And he goes, "Get out of here!" Because that's a scene from the Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many fucking things. Like, literally, her name is Belle.
Uh-huh.
And then as soon as you see the Beast,
Yeah.
I'm like, as soon as they even mention the Beast, I'm like, it's right there. Like,
Yeah.
anytime anything happens in that universe, the online universe, it's a scene from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, well, not to quote myself, but I know that now. I know that now.
Like, it's so heavily.
But it's just insane that this movie gave you 2 things. They gave you Belle
Yeah.
and a Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't put Belle and Beast
Yeah.
together in your head
No.
to make Beauty and the Beast.
It should be stated that's also not for lack of having seen Beauty and the Beast. I've seen it many times. I
Yeah.
grew up with it. I
It's
had the
almost
puppy
worse.
VHS case like everybody else.
Yeah.
It's almost worse that you're saying this right now.
Oh, it is worse.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
All right.
it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm aware it's not good.
Like even me going into this not knowing anything about it, like we've been saving this because we were thinking of doing it last year.
So many times this came up.
Yeah.
We're like, should we do Belle? Should we do Belle? Should we do Belle?
But I stayed away from any spoilers or like even
I knew nothing about this
Yeah,
at all.
going in. Right?
Clearly, same.
Yeah, but like it's so heavy-handedly giving it to you right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I have to say, I think that like my least favorite parts of this was the stuff that felt really derivative or it was stuff that felt the most like Beauty and the Beast. And I don't know, like maybe that's not their fault. And obviously there's a new generation of young people that are going to see this. And maybe this is their first Beauty and the Beast rendition that they see. And that's really
Yeah.
fucking cool for them. Unfortunately, like Mikey said at the top of the episode, I'm a fucking Disney guy.
Yeah.
And I really like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
So this to me, everything that gave me Beauty and the Beast, unfortunately, was kind of like, oh, it's not as good.
Yeah. It's just like a
You know?
shitty version.
No,
But the stuff,
not at all.
But
Are you
the
kidding
stuff
me?
that they did outside of the confines of the Beauty and the Beast story,
Yeah.
I found really, really interesting. I really liked the juxtaposition between the two visual styles of the real world and the digital world.
Yeah.
Really, really loved that. Just generally all of the art was pretty fucking fantastic.
Fucking awesome.
In my opinion.
I mean, just so imaginative, like so creative.
I'll agree. It
Not-
was impressive.
Yeah, but I also think though, like we tend to be a lot more into the nostalgia of a lot of things. Me, not so much a Disney guy. Like I love Disney, but my favorite one is Lilo and Stitch and Wall-E.
Wow.
Right? Like
Weird picks.
what are you talking about? Stitch is awesome.
They're just weird picks for favorite Disney movies. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, let's just talk about Beauty and the Beast here for a second.
Yeah, we
It's-
should.
It's a fucking like weird Stockholm syndrome kind of movie.
Yeah, it's not a healthy relationship.
No, not at
They
all.
weirdly
it's-
they made it more healthy.
Yes.
I want to say.
To be fair, Beauty and the Beast was a French fairy tale written in 1756.
Yes, agreed.
Is this our segue into Senpai's Corner?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that like that might explain some of the antiquated
Yeah.
vibes going on here.
To be fair, another like comparison to make is Ponyo is the Little Mermaid,
Little Mermaid.
but
right?
unrecognizably so,
Yes.
and beautiful, and a great movie.
But
Yeah.
also you just named another one where the general the cultural understanding of these titles is the Disney animated version.
yeah,
Yes.
But even Little Mermaid
Yeah.
was based off of a story
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
that Disney Disneyfied.
I get you.
Yeah.
And changed tremendously away from the source
I getcha.
material. So
But
when,
when-
but I'm
all
saying when
of
you see
those
when you,
are-
but when you see a later rendition that is doing their version, you have to know whether or not they are actually referencing the original,
Yeah,
or are they
or-
trying to
Oh,
reference
yeah.
the Disney version, right?
It's
Because
very
that's
clear what they're referencing.
Yeah.
the Disney version,
Disney
Very
version,
clear, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
and it is intentional.
yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't coincidental, and it wasn't
Yeah.
them reaching for the 1756 one and accidentally getting some of the Disney stuff.
Yeah.
It was like they were like fucking target on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
1991 film.
100%.
And I think that's totally okay because especially with Disney coming out with Beauty and the Beast so long ago, and the anime version to me, anytime they do an anime version of like a Western movie or North American movie, I'm always going to think it's better. There's a very good chance I'm going to think it's better.
That doesn't make your argument better, though.
What do you mean that doesn't make my argument
That
better?
just exposes your bias.
But they do it better. Okay, see, here's the thing. Yeah. Well, having that classic, right? And then
Yeah.
you bring it into the modern world and what that looks like now. You know, this story makes way more sense and is way more relatable to today's generation.
You know what this story is not, though?
What?
A tale as old as time. Because Beauty and the Beast is a tale that, like, is timeless.
Yes.
This
Well-
exists in a digital, online, current only.
But you have to have fucking things evolve that way, though, to keep it current.
My issue is though, dude, and you can agree or disagree, but like I'm starting to get a little tired of everybody thinking they can modernize things just by making part of it in VR.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree with that. I
It
agree with
feels
that.
a little bit like a cop out to make something feel modern and current. Is
Yeah.
they make it somehow VR or social media or like
Yeah.
digital or internet, and I
Yeah.
know that's
like
our
when
world.
they turned Jumanji from a board game into a video game.
And I get it.
Yeah,
That's our
I get
world,
that.
and they got to keep up with that.
Yeah.
But like it, at a certain point, it does kind of feel lazy when outside of that, it's a carbon copy.
It's like, hey, have you ever
Because
seen
that's
Beauty and the
it.
Beast on the internet?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, though, dude. Because that's what this kind of ends up feeling like to me
Theonet.
in the end.
Yeah.
From a narrative standpoint, like strictly speaking, from a story standpoint, I
Yeah.
think from an artistic standpoint, this stands on its own.
I agree.
Absolutely does.
Sure.
And I think there
musically,
were,
too.
And we're gonna, for sure.
We'll
When we
get
get
to
to
it.
music,
We'll get to it.
we're actually gonna get to talk about music. We
Yeah.
usually gloss
Dude,
over.
well,
it.
I mean, we're also coming off of Bochi the Rock, where we
Yeah,
just
we're in music mode.
We're in music mode. So,
little
like,
bit.
I mean, we swapped out another pink-haired girl for another pink-haired girl.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
it intentional to do pink-haired girls that sing? Well, Bochi doesn't
Well,
sing.
it doesn't
but
sing.
It's a
but, like,
series.
it's a series. I don't know. Actually, that was just happenstance.
Musical
but-
pink-haired girls.
Hey, it's like magical girls fall from the skies.
yeah.
Okay,
But yeah.
let's get into Senpai's Corner. Tell me more about how the original Disney's Beauty and the Beast was better than this.
You're such a fucker.
So, Belle, or the Japanese name, Ryu to Sobokasu no Hime, which literally means the dragon and the freckled princess, is a 2021 Japanese animated science fantasy film written and directed by Mamoru Hosoda and produced by Studio Chizu, which is Hosoda's studio that he runs and started after splitting from Studio Ghibli and some Disney stuff. The story is inspired by the 1756 French fairy tale Beauty and the Beast by Jean-Marie Le Prince de Beaumont, as well as a 1991 Disney animated movie. It premiered July 15, 2021 at the 2021 Cannes Film Festival, where it was well received by critics with a standing ovation that lasted 14 minutes.
Wow.
That might not sound like a big number, but try standing and clapping for 14 minutes straight, and you will see that that's
In a movie theater.
ridiculous
Yeah.
amount of time.
There's not even anyone you're clapping at. It's just a blank screen.
well,
It's like when
was
people
Cannes,
clap when
so
okay.
Yeah, it's
there
like
was
people.
probably people there.
Okay.
Yeah, but like it's like when you clap when a plane lands.
Don't do that.
You mean my fucking dad?
Yeah.
The douchiest old white man of all time?
I bet you he gets up before his row is called.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is pretty crazy. 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's a big ovation, especially
Yeah.
at Cannes. Like, that's a high bar.
Yeah.
So the film was additionally dubbed into foreign languages, English and German, and was so it was released theatrically in Japan on July 16th, 2021. So literally a day after it debuted at Cannes. And then, so yeah, Belle is the third highest grossing Japanese film of 2021. It was accounting for 6.53 billion yen in box office. And that was as of December 2021. So
What else came out?
I was going to say,
2021?
what beat it?
Yeah, was Mugen Train
Demon
out?
Slayer? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then JJK was last year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I will tell you 1 second. Fucking Detective Conan.
Oh my god. Okay, I know we probably should do Detective Conan, but like I don't know, I'm just not into it.
It's a weird little kid show, sort of. It's strange.
It's been out for years and years and years, but it's like I don't know. It's one of those things. There's a big following for it. It's very huge, but anyway, no.
How come we don't have to cover things that you don't want to watch?
Well, because I'm the fucking boss.
Wow.
So yeah, Conan beat it, and so Mugen Train was actually the year before.
Okay.
But Mugen Train still finished fourth for 2021.
The year it didn't come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third was the live-action Tokyo Revengers.
Oh, was that good?
Yes.
No, it's horrific.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. Don't waste your time. But somehow it's getting a sequel.
Kind of
Yeah.
interested.
But it's
rough.
Again, it's one of those things, like I said before, the only way you can make a fucking really good anime live action adaptation is
As if you
it's
cast Scarlett Johansson as the main
I'm gonna
character.
fucking punch you in the throat.
Ghost in the Shell was not that bad.
I'm gonna fucking punch you in the throat. Fucking throat punch.
It's been a while. I'm allowed
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm allowed a few.
So a few notes on production. Studio Chizu, obviously, like I said, they were the main production company, but they did actually have help from a veteran Disney animator from Korea named Kim Jin, and Michael Camacho as well on the design for Belle, which is why she looks
Like a Disney princess?
kind of not anime almost.
Yeah.
Like they did some visual stylings with her that
She's got the anime eyes, but she's got Disney lips.
it's actually crazy. Like if you look at some cross references of her with Belle from
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
they definitely borrowed a lot of design cues from her, and also a ton of help with those Disney guys for the background work of the digital world.
Oh, that digital world was fucking wild.
Yeah, man, that's fucking Disney power right there.
Yeah, I know. You got that kind of money backing you.
Yeah. And then also just a fun little note: Hosoda actually wanted this to be entirely a musical.
Oh, interesting. Might have been better.
He decided
know.
he decided to pull back and go for something a little bit more dramatic, especially knowing that he might be able to find an actress who could sing and emote properly in the select times that she is singing.
Right.
So it doesn't need to be singing throughout.
Yeah.
But when it does, he really wanted it to be emotionally impactful, and it was really selective about who he picked. And I mean, I fucking stopped whatever the fuck I was doing or whatever I was thinking about anytime there was singing going on. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
voices in this are gorgeous.
Well, after I watched this movie, I had to shovel the driveway, and I literally put on the
soundtrack?
OST. Yeah, and just
Wow.
listen to the OST.
Wow.
That's dope.
But this is the thing though. Like I can't see this being a full musical, right? Like I'm really glad that they didn't do that, because there's some parts where like I don't think the music, like having it be a musical, would be nearly as effective.
But musicals don't have only singing. They just have plot points that are sung. This was didn't have plot points that are sung. It just had songs nestled in the plot. Right?
And she wasn't performing songs narratively. She was
That's right.
performing actual songs live that are for the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That are like
If they had done it as a musical, your scenes that you wanted not to be musical can still not be sung.
Well, I guess, yeah, kind,
Right?
yeah. Well, I don't know.
Although I just think thematically it wouldn't have worked as well, because I think that there is like this very serious
Yeah.
side to this movie.
You think that Beauty and the Beast works better as not a musical?
No.
No, but
But like the original, no. But like,
But Beauty and the Beast differs from this in that it doesn't have such a stark contrast between the real world and a digital world.
The real world scenes would have been real weird
If
as
this
a musical.
movie took place
Yes.
fully in the digital world, then go ahead.
Yeah,
right?
you're
But
right.
if you got a musical in the digital world and then
Yeah.
you go back to
Yeah.
grim Mamoru Hosoda style real life,
Yeah.
that just doesn't work for me, man. I
Sure.
don't think.
yeah,
You know?
agreed.
I would watch a Wolf Children musical though.
We're going there, eh?
Just
We're
saying.
going with that one scene where he.
That's when you get the 70s porn music. Word.
Was much happier with the design of this dragon gentleman
Then the Beast?
compared to the wolves.
The wolves? It was
Yeah.
kind of reminiscent though.
It was,
It was, but not so, not
a bit more bestial.
Imagine him
Yeah.
laying her down in
And
the
a
bed
little
all
bit more.
sweetly.
You can go ahead and do
Yeah.
that. but-
Well, and the dragon face, like it like there's that prolonged snout.
Yeah.
in
A bit more
Asian
monstrous.
dragons.
Yeah, a bit more monstrous.
Yeah.
which was really cool.
it wasn't
But,
just a fucking
Half
naked
wolf man?
dude with a wolf head.
Yeah.
You know,
And a furry dick, we established,
You know
right?
who gave me the fucking creeps even more?
Who?
Was the fucking animal cops.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
you know
They're
what
furries.
though?
They were totally
They're
furries.
Yeah.
straight up furries.
And
yeah.
I just didn't. I
I
didn't
think
like them.
Hosoda's got a thing.
I think he does.
Yeah, I think he's got a thing.
Yeah, look that up. See if he's a furry.
I
Oh yeah, that's
gonna be
common
on the
knowledge,
other-
dude.
Yeah. Is he a furry?
Hosoda, an open furry.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No king shaming.
No.
No,
But show up to a furry
different-
convention in the dragon costume, and you're gonna
would-
make a lot of friends.
Yeah, you're gonna kill it.
You'll be one of 100.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's probably fucking gangs of them.
Yeah.
Of dragons?
Probably.
I don't know.
and they all just
It's
get
gotta be
together
a
and
popular
one,
fuck
man.
like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
anyway.
Do we
Let's
want to
relax.
talk about the world? Are we
World.
are we
World-
taught everything we need to know?
World is pretty
it.
simple. It's like you have Japan,
Yeah.
and then you have
You. But we need to talk about you.
But
'Cause
that's the only
unique
that's,
part.
Yeah, that's the only world that you really need to.
So
to
you,
talk-
for people who don't know, is like a VR Second Life kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
You go in there, it actually creates an avatar for you based on your biometrics. So you don't design it. It just formulates it for
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you, right?
it's a mix between like SAO and like Black Mirror, but not nearly as lethal.
Right. And
Yeah.
the
don't die.
reboot of Jumanji with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Of course.
You'll
Yeah,
guess.
and Jack Black.
Absolutely.
It's like that too. They
Also,
use
real quick little note. Hosoda got his start, as a lot of people know, doing some of the very earliest, even just shorts for Digimon. Which
Oh,
the
that
entire
makes sense,
The
too.
entire premise is these kids get sucked into
Yes.
the digital world.
yeah, digital monsters.
Exactly. And
Digimon
so
are the champions.
Here he
Yeah.
is continuing with this. So this obviously isn't a new trend.
No.
No, it's a trope.
That Hosoda is jumping on. That
Yeah.
like I was complaining about. It feels lazy. It's just
Yeah.
on the internet.
Yeah.
That's not Hosoda. Hosoda's been doing this
Yeah.
since long before
Yeah.
it was a
He's
trope.
been on the internet.
I'm just saying I'm a little tired of
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah,
anyways.
fair enough. Okay.
Actually, that would have been your first like being exposed to like an isekai into the digital world would be Digimon.
Digimon.
I didn't really watch that much Digimon.
No?
Like
Not
maybe
even a little bit?
one or two episodes in my life.
Weak.
Yeah, yeah, that's the best word.
Sorry
that.
for your shitty childhood.
Hey, dude, I watched a lot of Saved by the Bell. I watched a lot of Full House.
Yeah,
Wow, man.
I had a great childhood.
Those shows have aged great.
a lot,
Yeah.
a lot. What was that other night show that we would talk about? The Emmanuel or whatever. That like Italian like softcore porn.
Red Shoe Diaries?
Latin Lover.
Latin lovers.
Latin
that's the one.
Lovers.
Latin Lover.
I watched those too.
Tele Latino.
Yeah, I
Tell
watched those.
Latina, yeah. Anyway,
channel.
of course I had to go there. But
That's kind of it about talking about you. I don't know. I mean,
well, there's two sides to you though. There's the whole like city
Yeah.
and like world that is all compressed and compact, and
Yeah.
then there's also the castle that is
Yeah.
hidden away, right?
Sure.
And you don't really see that until later, but like it's a cool little thing.
it's kind of like this is going to be a weird and obscure one, but do either of you guys or anyone out there know of Palace Chat back in the day?
Palace chat.
So it was this chat room before chat rooms existed, and you got to pick an avatar,
Yeah.
and you put it in this place, and it's rooms, chat rooms, but they're visual.
Okay.
It's like an image of a room, and you
Like
just
Habbo Hotel.
you just put your guy on it, and then you put it next to it. You move it to another guy, and then you start talking.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Habbo
But it was
Hotel.
it
Yeah,
was
there's
like
a bunch of sites
rooms
like
and
that.
rooms and rooms, and you
Yeah.
could go to that one guy, Adam Whiteford, my buddy. He's gonna know about this. You go to the mansion, and the mansion is set up as a bunch of rooms, but you could search rooms, and there were rooms like way the fuck out there with nobody in them you could go to.
Yeah.
And I think that's like you, right? And the castle was his room way the fuck out there that no one's gonna go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's not nearly as compressed where the population.
Yeah, everyone
is.
wants to go where the people are. That's why you're there.
Well, one thing that they don't really get into too deep because it's more about the interpersonal relationships in this one, but some of the mechanics of the way that the world works, right?
Right.
Like he's very powerful, the dragon,
Yeah.
right? How did he get powerful? Can
Yeah.
he get more powerful? Can he upgrade his powers? Is that from training, or is he like Neo? Or like Morpheus, where he's able to actually, able to manipulate you and create his fortress, hide his fortress, upgrade his fortress,
Yeah.
along with his powers. Is he manipulating the program?
Yeah.
Can you get better or worse at that?
Yeah, how does that work?
They never fucking talk about it.
See,
at
Oh, you just made me
all.
like this movie less. I didn't even notice that.
No. Listen, guys.
How does the world work?
How dare they not explain something to me?
No. I think it was the emotions that are brought in by his biometrics because he was in
He's
emotion.
so sad.
He was either so sad or so angry or so
Yeah.
the
Both.
emotions.
I think it's
like
both.
both, right? Like
Yeah.
like it was just
Yeah.
for somebody, a kid like that who is in a position that he was,
Yeah.
right? That those emotions are so much more heightened than people who are just living their everyday life.
Is that why she's so good as singer too? Because she's also so sad.
Probably,
So like the
yeah.
sadder you are, the better you are.
Well, no, it's also a
She's
way
also
to,
got a good voice
Yeah.
in the real world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's been saddened
Yeah.
out of ever singing.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, like, I mean, anytime you have some sort of anonymity, right, like, you're going to be a lot more open about all this kind of stuff, like, of who you are or what you really want to be, right?
All
Like,
right. Well, that's pretty good, but it would have been
Yeah.
nice if they went into that a little bit.
That's
pretty good.
Well, no, I mean that definitely explains the characteristics that they have,
Yeah.
but it doesn't explain how the game works.
Yeah.
No.
When you when you enter in the game,
It's not a game, though.
it almost is. Like, it's a virtual world that you enter into. It's as much a game as much as The Sims is a game or Second Life is a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like, yeah, maybe there's no objective, but like there are definitely
mechanisms.
There are mechanisms for which you improve or grow your character. And
how do they work?
They didn't introduce any of those mechanisms. From what I saw, it was you enter this world one way.
Yeah.
And however you enter that world,
That's
you
it.
are stuck that way.
Yeah.
That was the fucking hand you got. And
Yeah.
if you don't like it, fuck you.
I think actually that's it, though.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
And that sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds like a shitty game, dude.
I
Yeah.
really feel
What
like
if my biometrics make me fat and bald like I am in real life?
yeah.
No,
That
definitely.
sucks. Why am I
Yeah.
playing this fucking game, man?
Yeah.
I honestly feel like there's probably a way to change it. Like, I don't think any
And I'm
game-
just saying it would have taken 2 seconds for them to explain, do
Yeah.
a little bit of exposition to explain how this digital world works. Be like,
Yeah.
you can head over to that district there and upgrade some of your fucking parts. You know, I don't know.
Fucking
Bingo bango.
Semantics.
Bingo
Easy.
bango.
Semantics
Easy.
right now. Semantics.
That would have been so easy, dude. It would have
Semantics.
taken 30 seconds.
Fuck you guys.
Bingo fucking bango, bro. Yeah. I'm mad
It's
now.
not.
I'm
It's
angry
not.
now.
It's not about that. Also, I just want to say, side note. Those chat rooms that you're talking about,
Yeah.
I remember them. There was one where it was like that I went to. It was all about skateboarding. There was like a skate
There were
park.
skateboard rooms in Palace Chat.
I might have been.
You could pick an avatar, and they got big new metal pants and weird hairdos.
yeah,
Yeah,
like a cap. Yeah,
yeah.
It might have been that one.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
It's a good time.
Anyway,
You guys are like the senior citizen versions of Habbo Hotel
I
players.
tried when I was an underage boy. I tried to talk sexy to a lot of what I thought were underage
That's what
girls.
Habbo
out there.
Hotel was for.
yeah,
Yeah.
ASL.
It was for cyber sex.
ASL.
ASL.
Honestly, not a safe place.
No, it wasn't.
Not
It's
at
good
all.
that those places don't exist anymore.
The internet is disgusting.
It's an awful place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk
Okay.
about this movie that's all about
Okay.
the internet.
Let's talk about the art.
The art,
So,
fantastic.
of course, you get your standard Mamoru Hosoda Japan, but then you get, as we discussed, this internet world, this VR world.
I was actually a little surprised because all of the marketing, well, I didn't see a lot of marketing for this, but like I said, I went in blind and I saw a tiny little bit of marketing and it was all of the U world.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all of Belle like this.
Yeah.
So I was going in being like, wow, a Hosoda film that like is going to look absolutely nothing like a Hosoda film.
Yeah.
Let's see how this shakes out, if
Yeah.
it still feels Hosoda or not.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they pop back to the real world and then you see it and I'm just like, there it is.
Yeah.
That classic Hosoda face
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
every one of his fucking characters has.
Yep,
And it comes
there it
through
is.
big time. But
Yeah.
the juxtaposition's wild. They're very different
I do.
styles.
Yeah.
I think it works out better that there was that juxtaposition.
For sure.
Because if it was just all in the digital world or in you, and it was really just a copy paste of Beauty and the Beast in that way,
Yeah.
like I don't think I would have enjoyed this nearly
Yeah.
as much. It would have been exactly that. Just the music and visuals would
Yeah.
probably would have saved it. But because there was that whole like other weird like.
We're in the computer?
We're in the
We're in the
it was just-
computer!
there was just so much more at stake because of the real world that
Oh,
was
I see what you're
happening,
saying.
right?
Yeah.
Right? That
Yeah.
really grounded it.
Yeah.
That made me really like it.
I agree. I want to say that, like, that whole we're in the computer style of art, that, like, from the movie Hackers, you diving through, what are those, digital towers?
Because that's
Yeah.
exactly how hacking works.
Yeah.
We're in the mainframe.
Yeah. I actually don't love that.
That was the
To
only
be
time
honest with you, and-
Angelina Jolie was probably a good actress.
There you go. That's not my favorite kind of animation. I find it like kind of stupid to look at. I'm like, that's not what the inside of the computer looks like. And if you're gonna make a Second Life game, you're not gonna make it look like that. You're gonna make it look like a place you want to hang out. Like in Palace Chat, for example, it was like a cool room. I wanted to put my guy in a cool room.
Yeah.
I don't want to float around digital noise.
I
what I mean?
definitely think that this unfortunately at a few points art wise did fall into that trapping of like
We're in the computer.
this is what the
Yeah.
digital world looks
you
like.
know what
It's
I thought
so
it was,
digital.
felt like I was watching at some points? Reboot.
Agreed.
But I
some of
fucking
the
love
backgrounds.
Reboot.
But Reboot is about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the
The-
whole idea.
yeah.
this isn't, or
Yeah.
at least I wanted more out of this.
Okay,
because,
okay.
especially because with the character design,
Yeah.
and like the whale. and like even just some of the fucking side characters.
The
just
massive variety of avatars, dude.
That's the thing. The
Hundreds of thousands of
the
them.
strangers that are just watching her sing and stuff. I'm like, these characters are all incredible, and
Unique.
and the background is just some like vaguely microchip looking buildings.
It's the Matrix code.
Repeated a bunch of times over.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. It feels like binary. It feels like the inside
Digital,
of the computer.
yeah.
But again, this is getting a little tired for me now.
Same.
Along with the whole just concept of being in the internet. Is a little... Okay.
I want to hear Mikey be angry now.
So, sorry. you guys are nitpicking so much on a movie. This is if it was a series, I get it, right? Because then they would have had more time to deliver that stuff to you. But in a feature film that was only 2 hours long, you don't need to go and explore every fucking room because it's not about those rooms.
How about this though?
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the artistic choices made.
Yeah.
Put it in like a weird 90s sci-fi computer vibe.
Yeah. We're in the computer.
And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
but-
I feel like we're past that
Okay.
now. Like, give me an interesting utopia to look at, or some
Yeah.
sort of natural landscape that is
Yeah.
more ideal than.
I don't think
computer
I
chips.
don't agree. The only reason why is because the internet is so fucking convoluted and saturated.
Yeah.
Right. And this totally represents how saturated websites and things like that can be.
This isn't the internet. This
but
is
like it's
you.
the world, or whatever.
But it was
They
designed.
made it look like we think the internet should look like.
They designed it that way.
Yeah.
They didn't have to.
And not
Yeah.
to mention, like plot wise, right? Like for her to get viral, she needed a lot of eyes on her right away.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I think it was a good mechanism to kind of move the story forward.
But they could have done that, just not in this weird digital world
Yeah.
that they designed.
Like
it's a design choice.
Yeah.
It's not conceptually
Yeah.
that I disagree with it. It's not the idea or the way that it serves the plot. It was just an aesthetic design choice they went with. Like, you think SAO, right?
Yeah.
They go into SAO. It's like Earth. It's like a natural, beautiful, gorgeous landscapes.
Yeah.
Because people want to run around that as opposed to
Yeah.
a cyberpunk kind of reality. That I'm just saying, I'm kind of over that as like the inside of a computer look. And most sci-fi puts it that it's neon lights and everything looks like a computer chip.
Totally. Hey,
I'm
when
like,
they
bleh.
rebooted Jumanji, they put them in a realistic world, jungle world, and it was really effective.
Hey, you know what? You know what I think it is too. Is you really like? Did you ever watch that movie?
Jumanji?
No.
Okay.
Fuck, I can't remember. It's Game Over. Where is
Ready Player One?
Ready Player One. Thank you.
Yeah.
I read the book. Why?
Same.
Yeah.
And the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And the movie. Like that was.
That I liked because like that Ready Player One had like some different maps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some different levels.
And each one looked a
that
little
they
different.
played. You is very one note looking.
It's just what the internet is usually represented as.
But but like I'm saying, not conceptually, aesthetically, right? For a movie that's very plot driven, not internet driven,
Yeah.
right? You don't need all those other worlds and other rooms.
I think we just wanted them.
Yes.
I just didn't.
And you
need
didn't
the,
care.
I
Yeah.
didn't need the microchip buildings.
Fair
to
enough.
to
You know what?
understand, I was in the digital world.
Fuck it. Let's move on.
Yeah, you
I get
accept
it.
it. You know what I want? I want our listeners and watchers to subscribe.
Yeah.
Nice, nicely done.
Thank
You're on the
you.
internet if you're listening
if
and
you're on
watching
the
us.
internet, yeah.
You're there.
So if you're tuning into this show, yes, please subscribe, please like, ask a friend to check us out if you like our content,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. Also, we have a giveaway going on right now.
Pew, 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 pew.
All right,
Sorry for that.
we
Sorry,
are
don't
giving-
ever be sorry for that.
Okay.
Yeah, our very first giveaway. So if you are on the internet right now, we are giving away Raftalia from Papa Parade from Good Smile, a Raftalia figure. We are also giving away one of Hangar 91's prints, a flash print.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a
And a
fucking
sticker
sick one.
pack. All you got to do, if you want to triple your chances, triples is best. Either go on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're liking, and make sure that you tag 3 friends in the comments. And we are going to name the winner on our Valentine's Day episode, which is going to be February 15th.
Yeah. Do it up.
Yes.
Do those things.
Do those things. And now back to Disney.
The music.
The music. Oh, yes.
this
the
movie.
Music. The
So
music was fucking
very
great.
clearly, this is one of the main elements of the movie. I need to tell you guys, I watched the dub. and I need you to know.
They have different singers.
Yeah, and I need you to know
man.
that I'm aware that the Japanese singer they hired is probably very famous and very amazing.
Did you even listen to her? What she sounds like?
I flipped to it for a second.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
I don't believe you. Your
It was
voice
fine.
went up
I
there.
don't. But
Yeah, I did. I did do it. I just don't have great news to tell you about it when I did it. It was fine.
It's not fine. It was great.
Sure. The English singer was also just fine. I kind of felt like she was like a mix between a dollar store Shakira and a dollar store Elsa from Frozen, which tracks for the Disney thing.
Tracks
She
for
was
most
fine.
anime dubs. They're
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
dollar store.
Yeah. This
That's
one,
right. Come at me.
Sure.
Come at me, dub lovers.
I wasn't blown away by any of the songs. I gather from the moment that I did switch over that actually the melodies are very similar. Very similar from when they rewrote them into English.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that they should be.
Yeah,
Like,
they
but
were.
but as far as the execution and presentation of a song that is meant to be sung in Japanese,
Yeah.
it still wouldn't be as good as the Japanese version.
You're probably right. I still don't think that I would have been blown away by the songs if they were in Japanese, personally.
Like the composition of these songs are way better than any of the Disney songs. Because they are,
Be careful, my dude.
because okay,
Continue, but be careful.
Hear me out. Hear me
Jay's
out.
brow is so furrowed.
Yeah, Jay, I know. I'm sitting. I'm not. I'm specifically looking at you. For
Okay,
a
but I
specific
also
reason.
am like,
Okay. I'll dial it back for a second.
no, keep going.
Those songs did its job when Disney was coming out with those songs, right? Because those essentially every Disney movie is a musical, right? And they have a level of campiness to them, and we've had that for years and years and years. This is a movie that is kind of not really meant to be a musical, but still have those musical elements that gave you compositions that were so much more not campy by any means, way more in tune with modern day music, and just delivered it in a much more epic way. Right? Where the other songs weren't really all that epic. I didn't feel the same drive, the same emotions. I just felt like, oh, happy, Disney songs. I mean, there's a couple out there, yes, that can feel epic, but not in the same way this movie presented itself. Oh, you guys are gonna rip into me,
Are you done?
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Yeah, well, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're a lot of wrong there.
Okay, so first of all,
Yeah.
when you don't have to tell an entire story via sing-song,
Yeah.
it's very easy to not be so campy.
Yeah. Also,
When you are singing like radio songs.
here's what I'll argue too. Disney songs are more perfect for Disney movies than these songs were for this movie.
Disagree.
So here's another
Because
thing.
you're comparing apples and oranges a bit.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing. If you felt absolutely no emotion at
Yeah.
all when Belle and the Beast dance for the first time and she's in her fucking golden dress and they start playing the song that you started singing at the very beginning of this podcast, may I say.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
And let me hit you with another good point. That,
give it to him.
That you are criticizing the datedness of musical songs that are set in the 1700s.
Yeah.
Belle grows up in a small provincial town
Yeah.
in France. She's not going to be singing radio techno
Very good point. Yeah.
like Belle is going to be doing
Yeah.
as a radio techno singer.
No.
It's much easier for her to sing radio techno non-campy songs
Yeah.
when the narrative
Yeah.
sets her up to do so.
Yeah.
The same way Beauty and the Beast has 1700s classical music
Yeah.
to accompany the 1700s
Here's another
narrative.
one. Tell me, what were these songs about?
Well, I don't
were they
speak
about?
Japanese.
Did you not read the subtitles?
I did. I
So
did.
you're making this
Okay,
judgment without even- hold on.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. I did read the subtitles.
Yeah.
I do know what the general consensus
What are
is
they about?
of the songs
What are they
about,
about?
like connecting and being who you are. But
Okay.
like,
So
look,
if we want
look.
to talk emotions, do you know what the songs in Moana are about?
Yes, I do.
Because She lives in a tribe on an island, and
Yes.
she knows they need to get off
Fine.
the island.
Fine.
Dude. The triumphant feeling
Okay.
when Moana sings from
I
her
knew
boat.
I knew
We make
fucking
our nets from the fibers.
I knew
that's
fucking
a
the
fun
water was
one.
gonna come up
That's a-
actually because
yeah.
you bastards would
Yeah.
bring her up. But listen here.
Consider the
listen,
coconuts.
The what?
Consider its trees.
Listen here, you bastards.
The island gives us what we need.
And no one leaves. Let's go.
Okay.
This just turned into a Disney sing-along.
Yes.
The greatest music of all time.
Okay.
Who's going like, this just turned into a Belle sing-along. The greatest music of all time.
Listen, okay, here
Yeah.
we go. This is the other thing. I'm not saying that I did not have any emotions for the classical Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, I do because I did like them growing up.
Okay.
I am just saying that I like not to mention I do have nostalgia for them. It's not like I don't know the lyrics to them. I'm just saying for this day and age where you have Disney pumping out all these things that are kind of formulaic until Pixar picked them up and was able to bring even more emotions into it. Right?
Man, I don't know.
Right? Pixar had. You can't tell me Pixar
They up
did
the
not.
emotion, but no Pixar's are musicals.
But Pixar does a way better job than any of those old Disney movies. I'm just saying.
Without music.
With what? Doing emotions? Yeah, I thought we were
Yeah.
talking about the music.
But there is okay. Music is emotion. You threw all three of you guys, all three of us know that.
I think we
I know,
broke
but you're
Mikey.
using Pixar as an example, but
Yeah.
Pixar doesn't have any music.
Pixar does
Well,
have some music.
it has a score, but it's not a musial.
Okay,
They're not doing it
no.
via sing-song like Beauty and the Beast.
Okay,
does.
fine. Fuck it. Let's move on. All right.
I'm sorry. We had to stop because you
Yeah.
literally said that the music from Belle, the 2021 Mamoru Hosoda film, was better than the music in 1991's Beauty and the Beast.
It's an apples and oranges thing.
It's not.
A little bit.
No.
It is better. In my opinion, in
Mikey,
my bias,
if
it
there
is
was
better.
if there was a room of 1 million people,
You're not winning that battle.
you would be the only person in the room to think that. I'm
might-
telling you right now.
Might
No,
be.
no, no.
Yeah, you might be, dude.
That's not an unrealistic statistic I
Okay.
just threw out there.
No. In a North American room, I might be the odd one out. But if I was going to Japan or Asia,
You don't think they would have the reverence
Yeah,
for Beauty and the
actually,
Beast?
I'm not even sure. You
Because
still-
Mamoru
Yeah.
Hosoda made an entire movie
About Beauty and the
about
Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
That you think has better music than Beauty and the
okay,
Beast.
fine. I like the fact that it's more current.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it.
I also like that. I like that made it stand out a little bit and
Yeah.
differentiated it. Because like I
Sure.
said, it was the areas where it felt too much like Beauty and the Beast that I
Yeah.
didn't like.
Yeah.
And
It was
I
when they
think-
strayed away from that.
I will say again, I think it's better for this movie, but I think you're comparing apples and oranges when you're talking about the music from this movie versus the music from a Disney classic. That's all I'm saying.
Sure, but
Okay.
either way, I think it worked. I think I really enjoyed the music. It was refreshing to have an anime pushing the soundtrack so forefront and have me really like it because Cyberpunk tried to do that and that
Yeah,
did
you
not
guys
go
didn't
well.
like the music in Cyberpunk.
No.
Especially because they really tried to push it on you like
Yeah.
heavily
Like
throughout.
the volume was turned up a little louder on it.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big pet peeve of mine, and it's when people can't mix. Like when feature films
Yeah.
or even TVs, like they can't, especially when like the music is so much higher and you can't really
Yeah.
hear the voices
Yeah.
or like
I know I'm annoyed by that too.
yeah, like at that kind of level, like you need to have a good mix.
Like, how is nobody in the room sitting there being like, "Can you hear that?"
It's like
Yeah.
they didn't take
Like,
it
we
to
can't
the,
hear
they
what they're
didn't take
saying.
it to their car and do the car test.
exactly.
They didn't do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. We're sorry for that, guys. We're sorry.
I'm not.
But we love you and we love each other.
Yeah.
And, OnlyFans.com/ShManime pod for a Disney sing-along in our underpants later. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about our
Look,
characters.
people who listen to us know what's up.
That's true. They do.
We ramble.
Yeah, we got into it. Okay, let's blast through some character talk. Let's talk about Suzu, who is our main character, a.k.a. Belle. So Suzu is quiet, introverted, meek, and at first you think she's just a quiet girl. Then you find out what happened to her because her mom drowned trying to save another kid, and she watched it happen.
Yeah, and she doesn't understand why you would save someone, and when I'm like,
Totally.
you have to take care of me.
And I'll be straight up with you guys that fucked me up, and we'll get into that a little more when we get to the plot. But that was fucking intense.
Yeah, very heavy.
After that happened, because before that happened, we get a flashback that she was a happy kid. After that happened, completely withdrew.
Yeah.
Withdrew from music, You know, every part of life, including her dad as well. There's a lot of like emotional baggage there she's carrying, which makes her who she is.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? It's a really small detail, but I don't know what it's really stood out to me is that you know she's a really caring person because their dog is 3-legged.
I never even noticed that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
Cute.
Right, like so it's like it's such a subtle thing that you don't really pay attention to, but like I guess I just love animals so much. Like I'm like, you know, because you see the redness on his one arm.
Yeah.
Right. So
well, the other thing you get too from that is that like already she's a character you're rooting for, and that's just another aspect. Like, you know what I mean? You want her to win. As Belle, she is like Belle from Disney, but like popular. Because Belle, I guess she was popular in the town.
No, not
She's
they loved her.
known.
No,
She's known.
She's known, but I wouldn't say she's popular.
Not by any means. The girl that has the saxophone
Yeah.
is the popular one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's true. But Belle in You
Yes.
is ultra confident, superstar singer, super popular. Everyone loves her, but also still not really any friends.
Yeah.
You know
Which
what I
was which was one of the biggest difference to Beauty and the Beast, right?
Did Belle in Beauty and the Beast have a lot of friends?
No, she didn't have a lot of friends, but I'm just saying, like, she wasn't like Belle was already out the gate, confident in the classic.
Yeah.
Here,
You're right.
she's not.
You're right. That's a good point. Very good point. I don't have a lot more to say about her. She's very much two archetypes of characters. We can get into more in the plot, I think, of the development with her, unless I missed anything glaring that you guys want to bring up.
Not really, no.
There were a lot of peripheral characters. We don't need to talk about all of them. I'll talk about her friend, her best friend.
Yeah.
Who is her guy in the chair.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah, I really liked her.
And she's kind of surly and a little bitchy.
She was by far my favorite character.
Yeah.
Further backed up by the fact that I totally recognized her voice. And I was like, what the fuck? Whose voice is that? How do I know that voice? And then I looked it up, and it's Lilith Ikuda, who is the vocalist of Yoasobi, who is like one of my favorite groups like on planet Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with her voice. And even when she talks, she just sounds so fucking cute.
Yeah, she didn't sing in this
And
at
then
all.
I know that she didn't even contribute to the soundtrack either, which
You know
really
what?
surprised
Weirdly,
me.
I think she sang one line poorly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Probably.
At the end, when everyone starts joining along with Belle,
Yeah, that's
she's
right.
the first one, and it's bad.
Yeah.
On purpose, because
Yeah.
her character would sing it poorly.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, as soon as I heard that, I just could not see her face.
Yeah.
And
You
it
know.
was very adorable, and it definitely
Yeah.
endeared me to her character once I like put it together.
Totally.
Yeah, but I did really, really like her character.
She's a good character. Hey, every superhero needs a guy in the chair.
Yeah, but it's the one who motivates them, like,
Yeah.
and like, you know,
She's
is
her
the most
manager in the digital world too,
Yeah.
right? She's
Yeah.
kind of running the show for her. and-
Yeah, she also keeps her anonymity, and she also, when they like become a little weird sleuthing detective team, she does all of the legwork for that as well too.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
The other person worth talking about is Dragon, who is the Beast. You know what I mean? Except instead of transformed by a witch or whatever, he's transformed by child abuse.
Yes, which was fucking wild.
Yeah. That got it
Yeah.
got so dark when that.
Yeah,
fucking
and
shit
and
came out.
yeah, that was the one that hit me the most, right?
Yeah.
Well, because the whole time you're like, all right, is it fucking Shinobu or is it Kamishin?
Anybody. At one
It's
point, I
gotta
was
be
like,
one
it's
of
her
the two.
dad. I was like,
Yeah.
who knows who this guy is?
Well, there's this one scene where they foreshadow who he is, right? Like when they're at what's the girl's name in the chair?
Hero?
Hero, yeah. So at Hero's house, they go online and they see all the different stuff on her big ass screen, and
Yeah.
there's the article of that family.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Right?
And then
Didn't catch it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it was
cool.
there, and I was like, oh, because that kid with the black hair kind of looks like Shinobu. Her
Yeah,
friend, the
yeah.
one that like really worries about her.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, oh, maybe it's the same people, but it wasn't, which was a really nice surprise.
Yeah, it was someone random, someone different completely.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I was like, man, this is too on the nose if they
Same.
make him the
Both
the
of them, you
beast.
thought it was. It was two on the nose.
Yeah.
If it was Kamishin, 2 on the nose. Shinobu-kun, 2
Two
on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. And the fact that
I
it
was convinced at one point it was her dad.
that
to
would
be
have
honest
been
with you,
wild.
I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
I
But
actually
like,
maybe would have liked that more
yeah,
because his dad, like,
they never resolved
well, that's
that
the thing.
a little bit.
She shuts her dad out when her
Yeah.
mother passes away. There's a
Yeah.
huge rift that's driven between them, and it's a great little through line through the whole movie.
Sure.
A nice little arc. But to have him, you know, be so separated from her where they're not dealing with their grief together.
Yeah.
But then they end up dealing with their grief together in you.
Yeah.
If she were to see her dad as the dragon dealing with his rage and his
What
anger
a huge
in
story.
that world.
What a huge story.
That would have been really cool.
Instead, we got a bunch of child abuse.
Yeah. Just a bunch of child abuse.
Like, but as an alternate to that
Yeah.
story we made up.
Let me invent these characters to be abused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To hurt you
But-
as a viewer.
Yeah. So,
No other reason.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if it was her dad, I don't think it would have been a little bit more awkward in my opinion because there was a romantic part of that, right? And then falling in love with your
I
dad.
don't know if there was, man. Oh, in the game, there was a little bit.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like
I was thinking
Was
about
there,
that as
though?
well.
Was
yeah,
there?
Yeah, like the moment it's
She did.
Beauty
You're
and
right.
the Beast,
I
right?
know,
Like
but,
it's you're
but it's a
you're
little
embracing-
different. And she did write him a love song.
Yes.
That I think is the only evidence of a romance arc. Aside from that, it was just care.
Does platonic love not exist?
It does.
I got zero inclination that there was romance, real romance here. Now
No,
I
but
got
like
love,
a crush.
Yeah.
I got love and
Yeah.
I got dedication and
Yeah.
care and commitment
Yeah.
in the most platonic sense. Because I was the same way. Because in my brain, Beauty and the Beast is a romance story through and through. So my
Stockholm
brain,
romance.
yes, but like, but my brain was like repeatedly trying to place this into a romantic frame.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about it when the movie was over, and I was like, I don't think they ever have anything more than just a human connection.
Yeah. Of wanting to take care of someone who's suffering.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
just
like-
a genuine care of another
And
lost soul.
I see a little bit of you in me.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
see someone like me.
I do get that, but that one scene where they're embracing and it looks like she's about to kiss him on the head and
but
like,
even
it
still,
just
it's an innocent kiss on the forehead. It's like
I don't know.
It's cool
Yeah,
that
there
you
was-
could both take it both ways, that anyone
Yeah.
could. They
Yes.
left it a bit ambiguous.
Yes, okay.
Which is
yeah,
kind of
agree,
cool,
yeah.
right?
well until the end, and you realize that he's a child, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not ambiguous.
And by
It's
then, you
not
already know
romantic.
she likes someone else, and it's kind of nice that it's platonic in the end.
I appreciated that it
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
same. Okay, let's get into the plot of the movie.
Yes.
We're doing good on time for once.
Are we?
We won't be when we're done, but we're doing better than we did before. Okay, so the movie opens up with a giant flying whale covered in speakers. They're like speaker barnacles, floats
Yeah.
in, and there's a singer on the whale just belting out a tune, and everyone loves her. And then in real life, a girl pops out from under the covers, and it's Suzu. And immediately you're like, okay, well, we know what's going on here. That's
Yes.
Belle. But the thing is like, that's not actually timeline consistent, right?
No, it's like
Because
the,
at that frame in IRL, she doesn't know about you yet, right?
Yeah.
So what this actually is another one of those trends that I hate, where they just give
Here's
you
the
a piece
end
of
of
the
the
movie
movie.
later
Yeah.
at the beginning when they didn't need to, because I would have been happy to start with the movie of her just popping out from under the covers, and I'd be like,
Same.
okay, cool, there's our main character.
Same.
yeah,
So
but I
boo.
think, but you know what? That I feel like it works best in this kind of movie because they are trying to highlight the songs the most, right? So like having done that, like
Yeah.
you know, you're pushing that a little bit more forward, and then you can get into the story because that song is dope.
Is that the only time you hear that song?
No, you hear it a little later.
So it would have been fine. Okay, so we find out that Suzu lives way in a remote area, and she travels like a long way to school. So remote, in fact, that like they're canceling her bus route. The sign shows. And this is where you first see like some of the crazy artwork in the IRL world. Like the landscapes on her train journey to school are just fucking amazing, breathtaking.
Amazing.
So she shows up at school. We meet a bunch of people. We meet her friend, who's kind of a bitch. We meet the sax girl, who's popular. We meet Canoe Dude, who's weird as hell. And we meet a popular dude who's like kind of just a popular dude. And we find out that he was friends with Suzu when they were young. And then they like kind of stopped hanging out. But we also kind of find out later that he kind of still looks out for her in a weird, distant way. He's like concerned about her all the time.
Feels like he has this obligation to keep an eye out for her.
Yeah.
because you know, I mean, you find out later in the but yeah.
I will say he's not doing a good job.
Oh,
If his goal is to watch out for her, he's not doing it.
No, but the other thing though is you're fucking teenagers, man. How,
Yeah.
how the fuck
I
are
agree.
you gonna really know how to take care of someone properly, emotionally?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you better keep your oath,
Yeah.
15-year-old.
My honor
Yeah.
depends on it. Yeah.
Not to mention it's such a tumultuous time
Yeah.
in your life anyway, so he's
Totally.
probably dealing with a bunch of shit.
Yeah. He does later on awkwardly try to approach her, and she like runs away. And that's the scene where he's talking to the popular girl. and she's like, oh well, I guess he likes her.
Yeah.
But that's also the scene where everyone in school sees them holding hands for like one hot second.
Yeah.
Which is important later.
Yes.
We get the mom backstory, which is huge. So we find out that, she had a happy childhood. She loved her mom. And in the scene, she's like standing by the water and she goes, something else happened back then. We get the flashback. She's obsessed with this like piano app on an iPhone, an actual iPhone, by the way, which is a little weird in this movie specifically.
We have a character that has a lot of sponsors.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So what happens is the mom ends up like drowning, we talked about, because she's saving some other kid from a flood. And Suzu watches it happen, literally screaming, "Where are you, Mom?" the whole time. And I'm like
A mess.
on the heels of Grave of the Fireflies. This was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
It gets
Yeah, but they're
super
not-
dark and
yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
They're not in World War II though.
No.
No.
There's still a really sad
Yeah.
kid whose mom we all just watched disappear in a flood.
Yeah, and then we also see her going into the water or trying to go into the water, and
Yeah.
someone grabbing her arm, and we don't know who that is.
We
at this point.
assume it's Buddy Boy.
Well, we don't know at that point.
Oh, okay.
You only find out later at the end of the movie that it was Buddy Boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed that we were supposed to know that from the beginning.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just smarter than everyone else.
He's your senpai.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has a title like protector and stuff.
Yeah.
He's that character. You knew, even if you didn't know, you knew that was going to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
so-
like at that point, like if you didn't figure it out, it was given to you.
Yeah, true. Okay, so as we talked about, this causes her to withdraw completely. There's a scene where she's like all like sad now, and she wanders past a karaoke party, and everyone's shoving mics in her face, being like, "Sing, you got to sing, hurry up and sing." And I'm like, "Is this a symbolism scene?"
Yeah,
that's not how it happened in real life, right?
Well, everybody knows that she can sing.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. Like the whole sequence of her.
except
and her
that
mom.
we didn't know she could sing. They didn't give us that yet,
Well,
or ever, to be honest
They
with you.
did technically at the fucking beginning of the movie.
they, though?
Because she's the one singing on the fucking
Belle.
Belle's singing.
I know,
and
but
then
we
you
never saw
associate her.
Suzu sing with her
No.
mom and her child. We saw her
but if you
play
see
with
Belle
a piano
singing,
app.
and then you see that that's Belle,
Yeah.
then you might be able to infer that she's got singing in her.
They just didn't set up. Also, at that time, they didn't give you "She's Belle." It's all mixed up, the timeline of things, right?
There's some inferences that could be made
Yeah.
that I
like,
have
why-
no problem making.
But
Jordan.
why show her obsessed with the piano app and not her singing a song with her mom, doing some singing?
Isn't that the question that you'd be wondering as you're watching the movie?
That is
That
the
they
question.
eventually explain?
What do you mean?
As you're watching the movie and she's playing with the piano app.
Yeah.
And you're like in your head being like, oh, she was like singing in that opening scene. I thought she was going to be a singer. Why is she on the piano app? That's interesting. I'm going to keep watching this movie and maybe they'll answer the fucking question.
I'm just thinking.
And then they do.
I'm just thinking.
And then you learn
movie,
that she stopped singing after her mom died.
a better movie is remove that opening scene, have her singing with her mom. Then you find out later that she can't sing anymore.
Okay, why don't you just rewrite the whole movie then?
I do that every time I dislike a movie we watch.
All right,
and I'll do it every
that's not
time.
this
Okay,
podcast.
okay. Yeah,
not to
Jordy
mention-
rewrites an anime.
Yeah.
She is with her mom's friends at one point in the choir,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
singing.
She sings in the choir. You never see her sing with them either, though. She
no,
just hangs out
but
with them.
you can infer.
And you're also wondering why not? Why is this girl hanging out with these old choir ladies but she won't sing?
Yeah.
There must be a reason. Let's keep watching and find out.
Okay.
Do you know how to watch movies, Dave?
Yeah, I watch movies all the time that you guys force me to. Yeah. Anyways, she runs out of that karaoke place.
Yeah.
She tries to sing at the bridge by the river, and she ends up just puking and crying.
yeah, that was actually pretty good.
The
That was
dam
pretty funny.
opens like
Literally,
Bochi,
it's
Yeah,
Bochi all over
and she
again.
barfs.
That is such a hilarious parallel.
Yeah. Not just a pink hair musician girl. Also barf. Okay, so then she gets a text about you, and she learns about you. It's all about start over in the world of you. She logs in. You creates Belle as her avatar based on her biometrics. So she's saying things like, "Wait, that's me," and it's the freckles. She's like, "That can't be me. They must have got it wrong." But no, it's the freckles.
You know what's funny? Like when I first saw her freckles,
Yeah.
the coloration was a little bit more red and
Yeah.
pinkish.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got darker later in the movie. I thought they were pimples. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never
Whoa,
seen.
what a rude app.
Fuck you, man.
Could you imagine? You don't have pimples in real life, but in this game you have them.
No. I'm not talking about the avatar. I'm talking about her as a character, like in
okay.
IRL. Like
Okay.
the coloration of her freckles
Yeah.
were so much more red at the beginning, and then they kind of went darker later in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they gave a teenage girl pimples. That makes sense because normally Asian people don't have freckles like that.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they said, oh, it's freckles. I'm like, that makes more sense.
It's what makes her unique, I guess,
Yeah.
is part of it, right? Okay, so she's in the game, whatever. She immediately gets in the game and starts singing. Immediately. And I guess the game gives her confidence before anything even happened because they made her pretty, I guess, right?
Well, it was more so she tried to sing on her own.
Yeah.
We had a scene with that where she was stumbling and couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
But when she was in she was like,
maybe I can sing here.
yeah, anonymous.
She tried and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there you
it's
go.
and you don't have to worry about anything. Nobody knows you. Like
Yeah.
you're this essentially this other person that doesn't have it was that slogan, you can start over.
Yeah.
Right? And
Start
you don't
over in the world of you. Yeah.
in the world of you. So in the world of you, her mom didn't die. She doesn't have a mom. She's just a person in you with pink hair and freckles.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that same trauma. She's disassociating from that.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's what people do in those games.
well, that's
makes
it's
sense.
an escape, right?
Yeah.
Most games, even the amount of anime I probably
Yeah.
watch is an escape.
She can make a new,
Right?
better mom in the world
well,
of you.
Yeah, well, she's trying to be a mom essentially at some points, right?
Yeah, she's going to fuck that dragon and make little dragon babies.
Hey, that's the show I want. Just kidding.
Yeah. We've
Yeah.
talked enough about your
Yeah.
bestiality affliction, Jay. Okay. So,
Yeah, I have an affliction to it, as in not liking it.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
It afflicts you because you watch too much of it. Okay, so in real life, after she sings in the game, she starts smiling again. Now she gets more and more popular. There's more and more concerts. She's in her friend's room with those huge computers. And weird thing I noticed of all the reference notice, there's a Pete the Cat book sitting on the bookshelf, which is a children's book from America that I'm like, why?
Pete the Cat.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
It's a kid's book for very young, very little children, and it's like just front and center on her stack of books, very clear. Pete the cat, the little cat. Nobody cares but me.
Yeah. I mean, some of our viewers or listeners might.
Maybe. Very strange.
Right.
Weird. Okay, so we find out that her friend is now like controlling her account. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm already working this out for you. Don't worry. You'll be anonymous.
Yeah.
We're going to donate all your you money to charity, so don't worry about it. And if
I'm
I'm,
just like,
her,
sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
can I have some of that?
Yeah.
You're like, that's not your decision to make, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Bocchi all over again with
Yeah.
the dad.
Except the dad gave it to her
Yeah.
for her to decide.
You know what? I bet you her friend was lying to her.
That bitch is rich now.
She'll probably like hold on to some of it, give her a share, and probably
Yeah.
give a portion to charity. Like
You're
she
writing the
would've slipped it
sequel.
through-
You're writing the
through-
sequel. Okay, so Belle is performing her biggest concert yet. Everybody's fucking there. It's interrupted by Dragon. He comes flying in, and these police are chasing him. They're called justices, and he's just like turning them all to ice. And another thing that they didn't explain is like, are these you employees? Is this an independent group? Who are these people?
This is what I'm saying. They'd never explain
they
the
never
mechanics
really
of the
explain.
world.
Yeah, they don't explain that very much. Like the police are
Why don't you make up an explanation for me, Mikey?
so the the assumption that's made is that these are a bunch of people that
Yeah.
are just regular people that feel like the internet needs to be policed. There's no real internet police or
They're self-righteous.
You're right. They're
How did that
self-righteous.
one self-righteous asshole get the light of truth?
Right. And that's the other thing, right? So he I don't know how he got the light of truth. It might have been from the sponsors. I really don't know. But the fact that he has like made himself known as this light of truth or
Yeah.
this justice, he gets all the sponsors.
He has the ability to reveal you users.
Yes.
He's just out there doxing motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a big old prick.
That's Gaston.
Yeah, he's Gaston.
He's that Gaston.
100%.
Yeah.
Justin.
Yeah.
You're just there.
Oh my God. Okay, so he's flying around, whatever, and she looks at him and talks to him. She's like, "Who are you?" Basically. And he's like, "Don't look at me."
Yeah.
And he like flies the fuck out of there. And Belle's all shook and some crazy shit. Okay, so immediately we're all guessing, who is this guy? He's important. He's probably someone we know. We've already talked about who we think he is, right? They tell you about some artist who has the bruising design tattooed on him. They tell you about some baseball player who never takes his shirt off. And we're like, it's not these guys.
No, absolutely not. Who is that? Who were they referring to with the baseball guy? That used to be a player.
It was sort of Mark McGuire-ish in his design, but like...
Yeah, that's who I was thinking about.
Mark McGuire never had a weird shirt thing. He just did a lot of fucking steroids.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But like, that guy was jacked in that fucking anime
He was
too,
jacked,
right?
yeah, totally.
and covered in scars. I can't from some surgeries he had or something.
Yeah, as a kid and whatnot, and being able to...
Anyways, we don't care about him.
Yeah.
So Belle is in you now, and she's obsessed with this dragon. She's trying to find his castle. She's like, I'm looking for a castle. I don't remember how she finds out there's a castle, but I don't care.
Somebody tells her.
Sorry,
Yeah.
somebody tells her. I think
No, they're interviewing all these random people
No. She gets led there
by the AI.
by the angels.
Yeah,
angels.
that's
little,
right.
Little angel.
The AI
little-
angels.
yeah.
Yeah. So she ends up, they lead her through some interesting animation styles, which again bothers me that you is just this digital world, because they lead her through these like interesting, blurry, flowery places, cloudy places.
You get these vignettes of these incredibly stylized,
for
interesting
one
worlds.
scene. For one scene.
It was so gorgeous when they were doing it.
And then we get to the castle, and it's just like everywhere else in you.
Well, the castle is gorgeous.
The castle was awesome.
But the background setting, again,
Yeah.
where the castle is floating, again, is
just
just
you.
the world.
Yeah.
It's kind of
She finds the dragon there. The AI explains to her about some magical flower. I forget what they call it.
okay, so at this point, did you know it was going to be Beauty and the Beast?
This is the scene where I figured it out.
Wait.
The castle.
At the castle. Okay.
The rose didn't do it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you not see the roses?
It was him yelling at her in this scene to leave. That's what did it to me.
I could probably say, like, up until halfway through the movie, you can almost, like, literally pick out each scene in you and correlate it to a scene in Beauty and the Beast.
Well, I didn't do that. Sorry.
well, I didn't do that.
or like the smashed picture of the mom.
Yeah, I saw that up there.
Oh my god!
I seen it.
Yeah.
I seen it.
Okay, so the dragon's there. He's not stoked. She's there. He tells her to leave. She's obviously hung up about it.
Yeah.
In the real life, she's hanging out with her choir ladies, and they have some advice. They're like, "Oh, why don't you write a love song?" So she writes a love song, and while she's doing that, she's thinking of the dragon and the popular dude. So we see she's hung up on both parts. You know what I mean? And she's all teenage hormones and muddled up.
and muddled up and confused.
Then there's this random and completely unnecessary sequence of scenes where the entire school loses their minds because they held hands once for a minute. Didn't need that scene at all. And also,
think he did, though.
that holding hand scene that everyone loses their mind about happened like an hour ago in the movie. I forgot about that and didn't care about it.
True.
You know what I mean?
But it also brings the reality back of how like mean people can be on the internet.
It does bring us back into the IRL part of the story. It also actually serves later on to bring Ruka into Suzu's life because they're like two separate entities.
Totally.
And now they have to come together and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's some confusion. So that's semi-important. Kind of.
Because
it didn't really matter in the end that they started talking.
Probably a different way they could have got Ruka and Suzu.
A lot of things they could have done in a different way. It also randomly kind of brings the canoe dude and the popular dude kind of closer into the fold. Didn't really need canoe dude for anything in this whole movie at all.
I will say that the canoe dude,
Kamishin. guys.
Kamishin.
I'm gonna keep calling him canoe dude.
He wasn't really that important.
Nope.
By any
Neither
means.
was Ruka, to be honest with you, in the end.
Like I agree, but Kamishin to me was a red herring.
Oh,
He was in there to throw you off.
Yeah.
To
Actually,
be another male
agreed.
character to make you wonder about.
Yeah, that's
agree.
true. That's true.
Because when I was originally, they're like, "Oh, it cannot be Shinobu. That is way too heavy-handed." I'm like, would they go Kamishin to try and like subvert expectations? And I'm like, but that's also kind of obvious.
Yeah.
If it's not Shinobu,
It's clearly
it's
if
got to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
true.
'Cause
Okay.
you have no other male characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's since it's a red herring, I totally back it.
Yeah. I was okay with that because I liked being duped
Yeah, me too.
in this one. I was like,
I don't-
oh, fuck, I didn't know at all. It was cool.
I could have taken it or leaving it either way. Okay, so she goes back to the castle where the dragon's there and she's talking to him. She's finally kind of getting through to him. He like ends up getting more bruises, I guess, and you find out that like the bruises are because sadness, not from getting beat up. She gets caught leaving by this justice prick who's doxing everyone. And she gets saved by the dragon. She sings him the love song in the worst scene in the whole fucking movie. Like that singing him the love song was the cheesiest, shittiest scene. The Rose gives them ballroom dancing outfits. They're ballroom dancing.
It was so much, man. It was so heavy-handed.
So
dude.
bad, dude.
And I also didn't like it because like that was like the first time you really kind of see him outside of like this like cloak that was kind of distorting his body and his figure.
Yeah.
So
And
when
he's
he
in a
gets
tuxedo.
and now he's in a tuxedo, and now I'm like, now I'm starting to get weird wolf children vibes off of this, and I don't like
And
it.
you are hard now.
No, dude. Oh my god!
Yeah, but you
dude.
didn't get that in fucking like the classic Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, you
where
did?
Yeah, like,
You totally did.
Oh, you did?
dude.
yeah.
You
But that's
totally
what I'm
did.
saying though. Like
I didn't like it then either.
okay, fair. But you
Yeah.
had to have that scene because of how derivative like it is from Beauty and the Beast, right?
I mean,
like,
I don't know if you had to.
Yeah, you had to.
You chose to.
I think if you're gonna make a movie paying homage to Beauty and the Beast, tribute to it,
Yeah.
you have to have a fucking ballroom dancing scene.
That
man.
is like
You could have done it a little less heavy-handedly.
Yeah, but I think it's the
Yeah.
one required scene.
Yeah, that is the most iconic scene in that whole movie.
By
mean,
far. It
if
might
it
be the most
wasn't there-
iconic Disney scene ever, dude.
Sure.
Actually, yeah, that and
top-
Cinderella.
top three.
Yeah, top three. That,
Probably,
her
yeah.
and Cinderella.
What's Cinderella scene?
The
Leaving the slipper behind and
Yeah.
getting in the carriage.
yeah.
See, that's what I mean. You don't even know which one it is.
That's what I said. That's the
what-
same
That's
scene.
multiple scenes.
No,
You
she's
just put
running
together.
down. She leaves the slipper. She gets in the
Yeah.
carriage and goes away.
Yeah. But it's
And
it's
he
that
picks
same,
up the slipper.
Yeah, it's the same. Like she's in a gown.
Don't
like,
test me,
yeah.
motherfucker.
I remember the story, but like that whole sequence of events is like, I don't know, it's just like a long sequence. Like Beauty and the Beast, that's one single dance scene. All they do is dance.
Anyway,
It's the best singular moment maybe in
Okay.
Disney history. Dude.
Maybe. I don't know. Mufasa died was pretty intense.
yeah.
That was probably the saddest.
Yeah.
Actually, that one is the best scene when Mufasa dies.
Mikey.
If you put it,
Mikey, man.
with Guile's theme song.
Oh,
Guile's
you
theme
son of a
song?
bitch. I thought you were just being a fucking creep. A fucking
no.
sadist over there. That is the best scene. I thought you were stopping there. Okay.
No, if you put it to Guile's theme song, it's on the internet. Go watch it. It's fucking hilarious.
I think we did that in our Street Fighter 2 episode.
Actually, I think we did too. Yeah.
So you may be able to see it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so meanwhile, there's this hashtag Unveil the Beast movement. We find out, of course, it's not the artist or the baseball players. And Ruka shows up to clear the air with Suzu. By the way, in the dub, Ruka is the only notable voice. It's Hunter Schafer from Euphoria.
Oh.
Respect.
Okay.
So
you go.
It turns
I watch
out
that show, so I don't.
it's an amazing show. You should watch it. Oh yeah, you only
For our dub listeners.
you only watch anime. Okay, so it turns
Are,
out
are there dragons in it? In Euphoria? Are there dragons in Euphoria?
Yo,
No.
we're not going down the
Okay,
dragon
then
road.
I'm not interested.
We're not. Fire Dragon Island.
Okay.
Fire Dragon.
there's none of that in this show or
Fire Dragon
Euphoria.
Pass.
Fire Dragon Pass
No.
to Fire Dragon Mountain,
Yeah.
where the
Anyways.
Fire Dragon lives.
Okay.
What we all agree on is Record of Lotus War is great. Best show.
Best show of all
Greatest show
time.
you've ever watched.
Probably best show of all time.
Go watch our Record of Lotus
Yeah.
Warp episode.
Okay, so Ruka likes Canoe Dude, we find
Yeah.
out. Suzu admits she likes the popular dude, and in the conversation, there's one cute line where she's like, "Don't say his name, I'll die." And then later on, she says it, and she goes, "Oh, I said the name."
Yeah.
And Suzu's like, "Oh no, I'm dead."
Yeah, that was
That was a little cute. They actually run into Canoe Dude here.
Yeah.
And Ruka, like being all awkward, blurts out, "I'm rooting for you," which of course means to him she has a crush on him. And so that's out in the air now.
He assumes a lot.
He assumes
that
anyone
dude.
who's rooting for him has a crush on him.
Yeah,
He
but
assumes
again-
everybody has a crush
Yeah.
on him all the time.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the thing about being a teenage boy, right? When
Yeah.
you kind of give them a little bit. I mean, you shouldn't assume by any means, but
Yeah. The stupid thing
it's-
about him,
yeah.
though, is he blurts it out every time he
Yeah.
thinks it. And this time he just happens to catch her and she doesn't say anything. And they both realize it's true. And it's really awkward. Yeah.
It is a very awkward scene,
Yeah.
but then it gets cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's probably just like, I mean, you see him. He's an awkward guy, and he's trying to be funny,
Yeah.
right? But his jokes don't land.
He's weird. We all knew that guy in high school.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I probably was that guy.
You might have been that guy.
I might have been that guy.
You might have been that guy. Okay, so
I'm probably still that guy.
you're still that guy.
Yeah, totally that guy.
Canoe Mikey.
Canoe son.
Oh my god. Okay, so they also run into the popular dude, and he tells Suzu he knows she's Belle, and she freaks the fuck out. And then suddenly we're like back in you, and Gaston and the angry mob of villagers are storming the Beast Castle. And they beat up all the AIs who actually are Lumiere, Cogsworth.
Yes.
Mrs. Pot gets beat up. Chip gets beat up. The Ottoman dog, they're all beat the fuck up.
The Ottoman dog, dude. It's
Yeah.
the saddest one.
They're all beat the fuck up. And the Beast still won't tell her who he is, even though she's like begging, whatever. And they burn the fucking castle down, which is kind of dramatic for an online game. Like, just delete it. Why set it to real life flames?
Okay, I will give you that one.
Yeah, because if they have to burn it with real life flames, that implies that he built that with
Out of
brick
real
and
life,
mortar
Yeah.
by hand.
Yeah, it's also not made of wood. Clearly, it's made of stones.
Yeah.
It was for dramatic effect.
That's was exactly what my note said.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Suzu, guy in the chair, Ruka, canoe dude, popular guy, and choir ladies are all a big team.
Yes.
They're all in a room together somehow for some reason.
Well, the thing is, the choir ladies already knew she was Belle.
They
I
put
know.
it together, which
I
is
get it.
a stretch.
But like, why are they all in a room together hanging out for some reason now? Why are they all so invested in finding out who the Beast is? They don't know he's an abused child yet.
No, but
Why do they all care so much?
Because they care about her and what she wants.
I guess so.
Right, because it's-
that much.
Yeah, especially so the choir ladies.
Yeah.
Her mom was in that choir.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
so they kind of, I feel like they kind of see her as like a daughter or granddaughter.
Granddaughter, yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
they
you
should
know
be
what?
saying though is, honey, I think you're spending too much time in the
in
game.
the internet.
Yeah.
I think you should maybe like,
Go outside, touch
yeah,
grass.
why don't you come out for tea with us? Why don't we?
Yeah, but at the same time, a teenager being like, "Hey, come to the choir,
Yeah.
to choir high tea with us." I'm not going
Anything.
to fucking high tea with
Just
like,
something
old-
that's
right?
not. Hey, let us really figure out what you need. Let's all get in
Yeah.
this game. Let's stay in there. Let's
As
figure
a
it all out in there.
rebellious teenager, I'm going to brood and use poor coping skills.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Okay.
There's no way. Right? And so for women who knew her mother and for all these other people who care about her,
All right.
supporting her in
I'll
the
give you that.
best way that they can.
And I'll say,
also give her like autonomy.
Yeah.
It's probably the best way to do it.
and in a world where you is so pervasive, fine. It gets better.
I assume that it could have potentially also been Hiro-chan just like scheming and rallying the troops just
Maybe.
because that just seems like something Hiro would do. Would
And
just
they
go
all,
yeah, that's
including
true.
these four old elderly ladies, just have nothing better to do.
Who knows what lies she told the old ladies to get them to fucking help.
Okay. All
It
right.
checks out.
So they all know she's Belle now, and they figure out pretty quickly, due to some like kind of nonsensical sleuthing, who it is. Like they just look through a bunch of computer windows, and they're like, "It's
No,
that
gotta
one.
be him.
No,
It's
so-
that one."
No, it's because she recognizes and hears that the one kid is singing that one song she sang.
Yeah.
And
oh,
she-
you're
you know,
right.
right? Like, and that's.
But how do
that's-
they find it?
It's like hackers, man. That's not
Exactly
how it
my point.
Well, that's the thing.
So,
Like,
yeah.
there just happens to be like 4 video clips of people giving their comments or their thoughts on the dragon.
Yeah.
And the younger brother happens to be like one of the 4 people that were interviewed on the news.
Yes.
Who was like, he's my hero.
Yeah.
And they're just like, that's that kid. I've seen him before.
It's all pretty convenient.
Well, the whole thing with Hero is that her computer is able to zone in on anything that has to potentially do
Yeah.
with the
you.
drag, like the beast, right? And so she just brings up all these pop-ups or all these
Yeah.
windows.
I
and
guess
then-
she's doing what guy in the chair does.
Totally.
Exactly.
It is some guy in the chair bullshit
That is-
for sure.
It is
Yeah.
guy in the chair bullshit. But yeah, I mean, it works.
Okay, so it turns out it's this little kid, and the big kid is saving the little brother from their shithead dad, who's abusive as hell, probably beating the fuck out of them, even though they don't quite show that, and they don't have bruises, but you know that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I don't think for a movie like this, it
Yeah.
would have been very tasteful if they did that.
Sure.
It would have made it a little much more darker.
They're
than it
also
already was.
continually live streaming their abuse.
Well, yeah. They don't know, right? Like
Yeah.
he leaves the screen
And they get beat up.
They get
Yeah.
beat up, right? And
So-
which is happenstance.
Yeah, that's true. So the kid turns the video off suddenly as they're watching them get yelled at. And then, the kid goes beast mode before this happens, screaming at her, like, because they're like, "Oh, let me help you," and she's like, "Everyone says they want to help me, and no one can help me." I'm like, "How many times have people on your webcam like just don't do it
No.
anymore?
Oh
just
my
don't go on
God.
it anymore."
No, that one scene, I'm gonna start like welling up. That one scene,
Yeah,
right? Like, okay, so I'm gonna say something personal. Like, I grew up in an abusive household.
yeah,
Right? Like we all know that.
Yeah.
But like, it's true though. So many kids will say, "Help." like, okay, what is that help going to look like?
Yeah.
People leave, people say things and don't do it or follow through, but then the way that they help isn't helping or whatever, right? You become so resentful, right? Like that one scene was really like,
I can't remember what Kay's exact words. It might have been something like nobody ever comes.
Yeah.
Like everybody always says they want to help, but nobody ever comes.
Yeah.
Nobody ever shows up.
Yeah.
Nobody ever actually comes here to help.
Yeah.
They just say it from a distance.
I feel really bad for making fun of that scene now. I love you.
I love you.
I'm sorry.
No, I know, right? Like,
Yeah, I get you,
But
though.
it is that one scene where
You're right.
it's
It was intense.
It was intense, but there are so many times where even people that are professionals like myself that worked in that field where you want to help, but because there's so much red tape around certain things, you can't help them. And when you say you're going to, it just disappoints them even more.
Yeah.
Kids are constantly disappointed by adults, right?
Don't
Like
give
an
them more
authority.
reason.
Right? Like, and that's the thing, right? Like that's why you have so many kids that are troubled or at risk and all that kind of stuff. So anyway.
Damn.
I
It's true.
got heated.
But
Sorry.
what I will say for sure is that scene is the emotional crux of the movie. You know what I mean? Like we're all invested in Belle's anxiety and her sadness around her mom, but this really is what turns her around. You know what I mean? It gives her strength to do something about anything. You know what I mean? It's her relationship with the dragon, finding out why he's that way, and then needing to do something about it. Right? So
Absolutely.
She can't help him out. She can't help him in you.
No,
Yeah.
well,
But
what
she can help him in the real world.
What she tries to do to find out, because she still doesn't know where the fuck he is. She's like, I have to find where he is in the real world, and the only connection I have to him is in you because he turned his monitor
Yes.
off. So she decides to come back because she's been out of commission for concerts. She comes back for one big concert.
Yeah.
To convince the beast to tell him where she is. She's suggested by the popular kid to do it not as Belle.
Yes.
To do it as herself. Be like, you know who he is as a human being. Show him who you are as a human being.
Which is an incredibly mature response from him.
Yeah.
And this is the catharsis, right? This is where she finally has the catharsis of understanding why her mom went to go and try to save that kid and sacrificed herself.
Yeah.
Because for all this time she did not know and she was living with that.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
this is the catharsis of like the resolution of like, oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
Right.
So she forces that justice prick to use the light of truth on her, even though he's protesting, even though earlier he like threatened to use it on her anyways. So he's not only is he a prick, but he's also a wiener. And then while that's happening, people are freaking out and they're running away. They were all there for the concert and they're all like getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And so she turns into herself inside you. Not actually sure how that works.
Me neither.
Yeah, that's. I do wish
They would have explained some of that.
not so much. Like I did accept it in the moment,
You would.
but I do wish like I had a little bit more of an explanation of how that mechanism worked. But
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
for
my
for
best guess-
an anime Disney movie,
My best guess is they're reading all her biometrics. It's all logged. They know what she looks like in real life. They just put it there. They coded it in.
There you
Anyways,
go.
she kills a huge performance with a song that to me was fine. To you guys, probably made you cry.
Well, I love that song, man.
It was fine.
Beautiful song.
It was all right.
It's epic.
And then a bunch of shit goes on here while she's singing. So we get a flashback to the mom drowning again, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sad again. Thank you for pain. And we
Every
get a-
time they flash back, you get more of the story, and it
Yeah.
just hurts more.
you
and
get
that's
a-
where you see
the dude.
the dude.
You get a flashback to every scene she's ever been in with the beast or a dragon or whatever. Then all of a sudden, this strange golden light starts glowing in her chest for some unknown reason. And then it's glowing in everyone's chest. And then everyone's singing along. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Power of love, man.
Power
Yeah,
of love.
I love when the power of love is the solution in a movie.
Yeah, man.
I
That's
love it.
every Disney movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, except it's not a glowing orb that represents the power of love.
Thank you, anime, for giving me a glowing orb because I loved it, and not to mention we also got to see the other avatars.
Yeah, of all the other people. We did get to see that one by one. And they're all kind of silly.
Yeah,
You get a giggle at each one.
It was nice.
That's it. Then the fucking giant speaker whale comes crashing through out of nowhere. Don't know where that came from.
Nah,
Is
it
that
was-
someone's avatar?
Probably a supporting cast.
It's her dog. Maybe that's her dad. That's been her dad all along.
It's her dog.
Okay, and
I like that it might be her dog.
You know what? I would believe it if it was her dog. If he was missing a fin.
you know what? That
True.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
That would have been great. Okay, so the kid suddenly turns the video back on, and so it worked. Basically, he's about to tell them, and then as soon as he turns it back on, the dad comes in. He's like, "This again? You're live streaming me beat the fuck out of you again? I'm not having it." And he turns the thing off, right? And then again, with some like really quick, convenient sleuthing, they just find out where he is.
There's buildings in the background of the picture. I know those two buildings. They're in this small town in Tokyo. 30
Exactly.
Like, 30 seconds. They got
Exactly.
exactly where he lives.
They did that same thing in Tokyo Godfathers, but like way better. The two
I
buildings
do
in the
agree
picture.
there. I do agree.
This was shit.
Yeah, I do agree. That was just so like, and
Yeah.
I guess in the ending with the amount of time that they already put into it, like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Right.
They really fucked up on that one.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they fucked up. Just again, plot armor,
Yeah.
convenience,
Sure.
right? To move the story forward
Yeah.
to the point where again the
Yeah.
catharsis and the release happens.
And they get you there. So she's hops on a train. She's going to save them, I guess. I don't know what she's going to do, but she's doing something. While she's on the train, she's texting nicely with her dad.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that,
Yep.
basically. There's one more at
I was
the
going
end.
to say there's definitely one more.
He goes,
Yeah.
dinner? And she goes, yeah, I'd like that. That's the end.
Yeah.
Which is a little of like a lackluster way to wrap that up, like we talked about earlier.
I don't think it was too lackluster. I think that it was a nice way for two people who haven't spoken to each other in ages and have so much tension between them.
Yeah.
Right? You almost don't know how to talk to each other at that point.
That's true to a point. You know what I mean? And like he's been trying this same thing, and how good must it feel when this thing you've been trying for years, this one thing has never been working, and finally it works. And you're
Right.
like, okay, we're there.
Yeah,
Baby
you have
steps.
you
Yeah.
have a father who
Yeah.
didn't freak out
Yeah.
of why you were on a train
Yeah.
going to Tokyo.
Yeah. He's not beating the shit out of you like these guys, Dad.
Yeah.
You're doing
Right?
pretty good.
Yeah, right. Like, and saying you have probably a good reason. I support you.
Yeah.
Just be safe, right? Like, and
Yep.
right. So it was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so she gets there, and she's in the street. She runs into the little kid, and then the big kid comes running. They're hugging. It's raining. They're in the street. Dad comes out raging.
Yes.
He manhandles the fuck out of Suzu.
Yeah.
It looks like he rips her face open.
He
fucking straight up gouges her cheek.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the movie, it was weird because it didn't look
So
like
violent.
fingernails.
Yeah.
It looked like he like bluntly ripped her cheek apart. It was pretty violent.
And then it
Yeah.
bleeds like
Yeah.
pretty
Bleeds a lot.
profusely.
Yeah.
And then she faces him,
Yeah.
stone faced, and he won't hit her. And I'm like, is he scared of her? Is he scared of himself? Is he scared of jail time? Any of those possible things.
I mean, he already would have get jail time just for manhandling her and scratching
Yeah,
her face like
probably,
that, right?
yeah.
Like,
This may have been inferring too much, but to me it felt like so there's no mother in the equation for these kids.
yeah.
I can't imagine this piece of shit didn't also beat the shit out of their mother.
Fair.
And it obviously has some mental trauma that
Yeah.
he hasn't worked out, that he
Yeah.
was in that moment maybe having some PTSD flashbacks to fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
possibly beating and killing his wife.
Seeing a
Yeah.
woman with blood all over her face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
maybe reading too much into it, but I was like, why did he stop?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Hey,
maybe he has a history of this.
write that into the sequel Mikey's writing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
thank
Sick.
you.
Yeah.
Right. It was a moment of reflection, but I would say that scene did kind of irk me a little bit, because when someone is that irate,
Yeah.
right, I don't think they're going to be holding back in that same way.
That's why I wondered.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, why did he not
Who
hit
knows?
her?
Yeah.
It was a little odd.
And
It
the
was a
way
little
that
odd.
he cowered.
It was a little sudden. It looked like there was something very specific he was afraid of.
Yeah.
That's what made me wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I can't wait to see the sequel.
It's going to be great.
But
It's gonna be
again,
really good.
it would, you know what, it would have kind of been, I think, a little more, not realistic, but like, I guess realistic, but
Yeah.
it was if he like had that moment of reflection and was still mad and then walked away. Right,
Yeah.
instead of cowering with
And
so
running
much
away?
fear, like falling back. It was just way too much, and it just didn't feel like genuine.
It didn't feel genuine. The only thing I'll say, and this is all just thinking now, I didn't think this at the time, but one thing I think I maybe liked about it is it keeps him a piece of shit. There's no redemption for him.
Coward.
Him cowering and running away is like, yeah, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. You run. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you run the fuck out of there and go cry somewhere. Anyways, so Another thing I appreciated, we talked about this a little bit, is that the Belle and Beast relationship is more of a sibling vibe and less of a bestiality vibe.
Yes.
I was happy that was where they took it. And so
I laughed. I audibly laughed when he says, "I love you," and she says, "Thank you."
Thank you.
yeah,
that killed me.
I love it.
That killed me.
I love it. Great.
Yeah.
But fair, because like you don't know him.
Yeah.
You don't know.
But even then, like, I love you. Like, to me, that felt platonic.
Yeah, it did.
It didn't feel romantic.
Yeah, totally.
At
it
that
was
point, yeah.
it was salvation. Is all it was in that moment.
That and like the fact that somebody did care. Like it changed his viewpoint of people that were adults or, or people who actually says it. Like there's some redemption for him.
Yep. We don't actually find out how their relationship unfolds. You guys can write that into your sequel. But what we do get at the very end is our big old sleuth team, our detective team out for a walk, all of them. They're just kind of walking. And they're all kind of have happy vibes. And the popular dude has this like instant vibe change. It's almost as if he's like, ah!
Yeah.
Like, he can cast off his like stoic mood. And he literally says, oh, now that I don't have to worry about you anymore, we can have fun. And I'm like, you're not that guy. You don't just get to be that guy.
Yeah, you don't get to be that guy.
It was strange, but it definitely speaks to the
How much he cares.
well, or how loyal, or not loyal, but like how true he was trying to be to his oath.
Yeah.
Because he did feel the relief when he felt like he was free of it. It was palpable. You could see it on him.
Totally.
That he felt relieved.
Totally.
But yeah, and then
And that's it. And the very last thing is they go, hey, Suzu, why don't you sing us a song? And she goes, yeah, I think I will. And then that's the end.
I do love the fact that they cut it there.
It was the right place to cut
Yeah.
it. It was the right place to cut it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's it.
The end.
The end.
The end.
So Jordy, what do you give it?
I gave it a 5 out of 10.
I knew. I was
Fuck!
gonna say it with you.
Are you serious?
I wanted to say it in unison. but I
A
didn't.
5?
Yeah.
Come on! Out of all of that, a 5.
Aside, I just didn't care for it, man. I didn't care for much of it. I felt a lot of the emotions, but the rest of it, the movie was just there to watch. I didn't get any enjoyment out of much of this movie.
I would have accepted a 6.5.
Well, you're gonna have to accept a 5 flat.
Like, I'm not talking to you right now, Jordy.
Okay.
Jay, what did you give it?
7.5.
7.5?
7.5, and I mean that's mostly art based.
Yeah.
Some music based because I enjoyed both of those things immensely. But then other than that, like the story was just kind of whatever to me. I mean,
Kind of blah.
yeah, even the stuff with Kay and you know, and the whole abuse like backstory and stuff. It was interesting. It was like it added some flair to this, but overall it was like whatever.
Same, bro.
I can't see myself ever watching this again.
Agreed.
So 7.5, I understand for you because especially how the tone started at the beginning of this. But you know what? Fine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what did you give it?
I give it an 8.
8.5.
You got 0.5 higher than me.
Yeah.
And he has to hum and ha about if it's okay with him.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the only reason why I lost a few points is because of some of those like heavy-handed frame for frame beast scenes. Like, and I know like the Beauty and the Beast, and it would have been nice to kind of reimagine it just a little bit more. And yeah, but like the visuals and the songs and really the reimagination of it being an IRL and having that depth of characters who are so tormented and hurt and whatnot really made it for me. So actually, maybe I'll give it an 8.5.
Oh my God.
I love it. I'm so glad you
So
did that.
classic,
That makes me
dude.
feel much better.
That is the most classic thing that's ever happened.
Thank you, Mikey.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Because I did really enjoy it, and I would watch it again, and I love the songs in it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
hope
go-
it snows again so you can shovel your driveway again soon to this music.
I'm going to go watch the vastly superior 1991 Beauty and the Beast.
So,
Yeah.
guys, if you want, remember about the giveaway
Tale as old as time.
that Jay has bad taste.
Oh, that was aggressive.
Hey, I'm sorry.
That was aggressive.
That was a bit too aggressive.
We're going to have
I
to
love
watch
you.
Moana together one of these days, just so you know.
We did actually not too long ago.
We
I don't
put it
think
on-
you
we-
were
we
here.
put it on, but then everybody fell asleep.
I didn't fall asleep. I watched the whole fucking thing.
I'm positive you fell asleep, dude.
There's probably a good chance I did, but we were really tired. Anyway, Jordy, where can people find you?
I'm at Reaching In on Instagram.
Jay, what about you, bud?
At hanger.91 on Instagram or hanger91.bigcartel.com.
And next week, which is our Valentine's Day episode,
Yeah.
right? We're also going to be naming the winner of our giveaway.
This is your last chance to enter, guys. You
Yeah.
got to do it. We're
it now.
checking.
Yeah.
We're checking.
What are we watching?
The Tatami Galaxy.
Tatami Galaxy.
Yep.
The Tatami Galaxy.
That was a Mikey pick. I know nothing about it.
Are you trying to absolve yourself of any?
Getting ahead of it
Yeah.
because it's a Valentine's Day episode, and who the fuck knows what this
Look.
masochistic pervert here
No,
chose
no, no.
for us.
No. Look, I know I'm a degen, but what I'm saying
Yeah.
is that like I picked this one specifically. I could have gone
Yeah.
super like
Yeah.
Valentine's Day,
I know.
like love,
Yeah.
like my love story, kind of like very forefront, like bubbly. But I wanted to do something a little bit more obscure so that it might be a little bit more interesting for you guys.
I'm gonna say for some behind the scenes information is I think I'm the only one who's watched this yet,
Yeah,
and it's interesting.
yeah,
The
And
Tatami
that is all
Galaxy.
it- yeah. And that's all I
I'm
will
looking
say.
at it right now. And it looks
Yeah.
fucked.
yeah.
It's
So
interesting is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it looks super fucked.
Anyway, please donate to Never Not Kittens. It's a kitten rescue.
Yes.
It's a nonprofit. They have a TikTok. Go do that if you can. We really appreciate it. You guys can find me on TikTok, Instagram at Shmanime Pod. I'm mainly on the TikTok. Also, my personal one is Korean Barbecue 86 on Instagram. Join the Discord too, Shmanime Pod.
Discord's like our you.
actually kind of is. Yeah.
Start again on
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah. There we go. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye.
Okay, bye. A tale as old as time.
No one sings like Gaston.
Actually, that's probably the best one.
Yeah.